Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the tech mecca, one of two of them in Taiwan. This is Syntrend. Now, Syntrend is one of the two go-tos for tech stores here in Taiwan, specifically in Taipei, and we're going to be taking a look at this one today, but this is actually a two-part video. We're taking a look at Syntrend today, and conveniently, Syntrend is actually connected to Tech Mecca number 2, or number 1, depending on your preference of shop type, which is called Guanghua Digital Plaza. So if you want to see Guanghua, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 2. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside of Syntrend. Now, because my wife and I live on the south side of Taiwan, the first thing I had to do was get up early, fuel myself up with a drink that I'm fairly familiar with, and hop on the high-speed rail. Now, this isn't the first time I've ridden on the high-speed rail in Taiwan, but it is the first time that I downloaded a speedometer app, and wow. I knew they went fast, but that's very fast. But anyway, once you get into the area, you can actually see that it's not just Syntrend with a lot of tech stuff. There is an entire street full of different tech stores just right next to one another, which is so cool to see for somebody who is really into tech. Once you get inside Syntrend, you're greeted by what is called the Look floor. Now, as you go up each floor, there are different names for each of them. You have Look, Touch, Style, Home, Listen, Game, Collect, Explore, and then you have Dine and the other floors that we really didn't get to in this video. But getting into the Look floor, there's quite a few things going on here, and the center is very clearly getting changed out pretty regularly for different promotional events. Why do I hear hell of a boss when I see Lululand?
Eminem, get in here! We're going to Lululand!
Lululand? Lululand?
Lululand!
Leave a like if you get that reference. Taking a look around on the first floor, there wasn't a whole lot that caught my attention. You do have an Apple authorized reseller store because there are no official Apple stores in most places except for the largest one in Taipei. There was also a Samsung store where I got a chance to try out the new Galaxy Z Flip 7, which is actually pretty impressive. I'm kind of surprised by how thin they made it. We also have an Oppo store where I got to try out some phones that aren't sold in the US. And yes, because it's very popular around here, there is a Pop Mart. Yes, they have a Pop Mart. I don't get it, but it's here, so there you go. One other thing of note on this floor is the Republic of Gamers store. Not Asus, we'll see that later, but Republic of Gamers. Literally just an entire store dedicated to their gaming section. That was not something I expected, and they had quite a lot of cool stuff in here. I can't tell if that's actual carbon fiber or not, but I love these straps on the back. That's pretty sick. This setup, holy crap, it's not got handles on the top, it has straps on the top, and it's also got a glass back panel. That's interesting. And this is a phone that I have actually never seen in person. This is the ROG phone. Oh, it's got the backlight. That's actually really cool. See, it's these things about like Android phones that just, there's a creativity to them that I love. The refinement's getting there with some of them, but not all of them. It's got pasta on it for some reason. Overall, this first floor definitely lives up to its name of Look because you definitely want to look at a lot of the stuff there. Some of the stuff, though, is pretty pedestrian. Something like an Apple store, some Samsung stores. So with this first floor out of the way, it's time to move up to floor number 2. Oh yeah, this is where we're getting into right away. Sony, HP, down there's MSI. If you're keeping track of the names, this is the touch floor, and it really lives up to the name. Everything here is interactive, from phones to keyboards, and you've got quite a lot of lifestyle displays, and you even have diving equipment. Sorry, that joke was in poor taste. So we saw a Logitech store earlier, but there's another one, more gaming focused it seems, and it's got this, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna wait in line until he's done, but that looks really cool. So I've seen some pretty cool Logitech displays in my time, but I have never seen a dedicated store like this, just showing off all of their properties, Logitech, Blue, UE, all of it. And man, it was so cool to be able to just walk up and interact with all of them to pick what you like the best. Unfortunately though, I did not get to try the direct drive steering wheel display out front, so I moved on to the Xiaomi store. And I gotta say, it's pretty impressive how much stuff they have here. I don't think people in the US realize how much Xiaomi actually makes. Like, that's a Xiaomi monitor with speakers, there's smart TV functions, there's cameras, there's glasses, there's even like smart vacuums, feeders. These are, it's an air fryer, toasters. Like, they make so much. Like, if you've only ever watched like US tech content, it's pretty easy to believe that you would not realize how much stuff Xiaomi actually makes, because, well, there's a lot. And also there is Game Throne. What is this? What it is the ultimate in-gamer swag. This thing is a full massage chair with a monitor attached. You can connect a game console, a PC, and it just arches it right in front of you. These things go for thousands of dollars, but they also had other options in here, like standard gaming chairs, as well as massage integrated gaming chairs. They even had an interactive demo at the back. All kinds of things, and what actually impressed me the most were these chair overlays. You can just put them on your own chair and have a massage chair. Pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot more stuff on this floor leaning towards lifestyle brands, kind of in the center. You've got like Epson and a few others with like more home stuff, but I just found a section for a brand that I've never seen a store for before, or even a kiosk. They usually just have like a little spot on a desk, which is Gigabyte. And don't get me wrong, I am super familiar with Gigabyte, but like, I've never seen a dedicated little storefront for any of their stuff. It's always been like little kiosks and things like that in stores. And I guess technically this is a kiosk, but like, look at these displays. This is their Aorus brand. You've got their Aero brand, which like, oh my God, this thing, this monstrosity of a motherboard, that is so cool. Oh, no touching, obviously, no touching. And they actually have Gigabyte monitors. Like, I do not see these things unless you just see like a picture of them in a store or you order them online. Like, that is wild. And like, look at this, even Epson has its own little spot with the Eco Tanks, which apparently are extremely popular over here, which these are fantastic little printers. No cartridges. Good, just ink tanks. More of this. HP, make more of these. Stop serializing your ink tanks, or cartridges, whatever. Oh, there you go, Intel. Arc Graphics. Fix your drivers, and I might actually switch to that over NVIDIA. Yep, and here's a brand I got familiar with over the week, TP-Link. Had to run their routers all over my wife's house because it's a concrete house. And so actually, there's the exact unit we had to use. Honestly, I could have spent so much more time on this floor. One of the nice things about this location is that it has so many products in so many stores. You can just go in and try an entire lineup of products. There's nothing like this really in the US, and it's unfortunate because for purchasing products, it's so nice to be able to come in and just see what you're intending to buy. I guess business must be good here for ASUS, because we had the ROG booth downstairs, and now we have just an ASUS booth, so you know, non-ROG stuff, and actually non-ROG stuff, and something over here. Oh no, there is an ROG thing. Oh, there's an Ally. What is this thing here behind it? Oh, it's like a home health hub? What is this? I'm gonna have to do some more research on this, or somebody let me know in the comments what this thing is. There is so much stuff on these different floors, so if you're like brand loyal to one type of computer or piece of hardware or Wi-Fi router or whatever it is, you could spend so much time just looking in one kiosk at so many different options that in most other places in the US at least, you would have to go and look at online. You couldn't actually like put your hands on it. We need more stores like this in the US. Oh, I thought I was done on this store, but now there's a Toy Story themed PC with a Buzz Lightyear RTX 5070, a Toy Story Woody motherboard. Oh, that is so cool. Also, before anybody comments it, I just realized as I was walking away from it that that little PC, the Toy Story themed PC, is supposed to look like the claw. The claw! That's actually really cool. There is so much stuff just vying for your attention here. It is crazy. We got Microsoft, MSI, HP, Sony, Logitech, Holy cow, I need to get to the next store. Hello. Yeah, that floor is an ADHD person's nightmare, but most of the floors are. So once I managed to get my focus back on track, it was time to move up to floor number 3, which, if you're keeping track, is the style floor. And this is way more my speed. Oh yeah, right off the bat, we got Nikon. Let's have a look-see. Oh yes, this is my heaven. This is the camera store, opening right up with Nikon and this cute little display that has a DeLorean hidden in the back of the train, but oh, this is so freaking cool. Let's take a look and see what they've got around this floor. You know, as much as I give Nikon crap for their interface and how they've kind of fallen behind the competition, like I'm still a Sony guy through and through, man, their cameras look good. Like, this looks like what you'd expect from, you know, an older film camera, and you have so many different colors. Like, I remember seeing this when it came out and thinking, like, it's nice that they're going back to this aesthetic. Like, even with the dials on top to adjust your speed, to adjust your ISO, and this is just nice. Now, if they could just fix their software, I think they'd be a good camera company. All right, that was pretty cool. They asked me not to film. I wish I could. I'll put a picture up, but they had an old Nikon F3 as well as a bunch of like other old cameras with film over top, and they let me pick it up and mess with it. My dad actually used to shoot on Nikon F3s professionally for the government, so yeah, it was really cool to actually hold one of those. I have an FE at home on film that's broken, so I haven't actually got to use it. So to be able to pick it up and kind of click it and know what it feels like, that was so cool. I wish they would have let me film that. I feel like this video and the next video are both going to have just an overarching theme of we need more of these stores in the US, because these small stores in the US who have, you know, this kind of stuff just there for you to try, they are dying for your business, and well, they're just not getting it because everything's online. But the problem with online is that you can't reach out and touch the product that you want to try out. So I hope they start bringing stuff like this back, but for now, especially since I'm going to be moving here shortly, I guess this is kind of the closest I can get. Here's an investment that I might actually consider while I'm here. These are, I believe, dehumidifiers for your equipment, especially with it being as humid as it is here. Rust can be an actual problem if things sit. These are lockable. You can put your equipment inside. I think this one even has a hard drive in it. Yes, it does. These are probably going to be worthwhile investments. Anybody need tripods? Like, you've got options. Wow. So while there is a very clear focus on camera equipment on this floor, there's a lot of other stuff there as well. You have these battery banks, which they actually had every part just kind of lying out for you to mess around with. You also had things like desks, which I am definitely going to be taking a look at once I am here permanently, because I'm going to need a workspace and I can't exactly ship my desk across the sea. They also had this crazy Polaroid on display. This is the i2. It is a $600 Polaroid camera with manual focus, aperture adjustment, all kinds of stuff. This thing is wild. And they also had every kind of Polaroid film you could possibly want. Also, nothing was here. Now, I know you can buy nothing in the US, but I have never seen them in a store. You've got the earbuds, you've got some phones, and you even have the latest Headphones 1. That was actually pretty interesting. Oh yeah, and must-haves for any traveling tech enthusiast, some kind of hard case, whether it be Max or, my personal preference, Pelican cases. These are musts. This is what I brought some of my equipment over in on the first trip, and we'll be bringing the rest over on my next trip. Okay, now this is more my speed. We got ourselves a DJI booth. Let's see what they got in here. Ooh! Sidetracked by Cassia. All the different G-Shocks. Look at that. Dang, that's cool. Once I was done being distracted by the really cool G-Shock displays, I got into the DJI store and they had exactly what you'd expect. All the newest drones, you got the controllers with screens on them playing demos of their footage, and even some things that might look kind of familiar. I wonder where I've seen these before. They even have Zippos. Oh, I used to collect these. That is so cool. Oh, those are some really cool designs. What the heck? Well, we also got a Canon store on this floor as well. I guess this will be our last stop. Oh, now those are some lenses. Look at that. Actually, no. That is a lens, if my camera lens wants to focus. It doesn't. There we go. Look at those. And also, if you hate yourself, there's some Canon printers over there. Okay, so I totally lied, but I don't feel bad for it because there's a brand name over here that I haven't seen in forever, although it doesn't look like they have much. Pentax. They have film, but there's an even bigger thing behind the film. So yeah, cool. Pentax sells film as well as whatever this thing is. But look, that is a Pentax 6.7, flanked by that and Miku. Holy crap! I know the name of this, and I can't remember because I'm just in awe of the Pentax 6.7. Also, they've got some KXs and some other options, but I wanted that. That is the holy grail of Pentax medium format cameras. Okay, I think that's enough excitement for me on this floor. Let's go ahead and move up to the next floor, which I believe is anime themed. I don't remember. We'll find out. No, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. The next floor is the home floor, which, well, let's see what this has in store. Yep, massage chairs as far as the eye can see. That's, yeah, that seems about normal for around this area. Although these are kind of cool. These are like under desk treadmills, so you can get your steps in even if you're at work, if you have a standing desk. I was thinking about getting one of these, but now that I'm going to be over here, I don't know if that's going to be necessary. I'm just losing weight from the heat in this country. Oh my God. This is a TV that I've never seen in person. This is TCL's 115-inch mini LED display. Like, oh my God, that's so bright. So just for reference, I am 5'10". I am 1 inch under being king of the manlets. Look at how big this screen is, and you can feel the heat coming off of this thing. That is impressive. Wow, and the color depth is actually pretty good. I mean, I guess that's the mini LEDs doing their job. That's like a thoroughly impressive TV. Like, I have a TCL at home. It's not a great one. It's just whatever the cheapest thing I could buy was because my Vizio died. That is an epic screen. Also, even though you don't see it very often in the US, TCL also makes gaming monitors, including this epic ultra-wide. Take a look at this. Now that is an ultra-wide monitor. Holy crap. Yeah, we got Sharp here, which, I mean, I know them more for their TVs, even though I haven't seen them around that often, but they also have phones, though, well, let's see. This one might be turned off. Looks like it is. Oh, she's powered on. Let's see what we got here. Well, maybe not. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh well. Okay, here we got a powered on one, and it just feels like an Android phone. Okay then. See, when it comes to screens and even some other appliances, I'm kind of familiar with Sharp. I remember them for their phones, but the phone I specifically remember is the Sharp Aquos Crystal. That was a really interesting phone during an interesting time in Sharp's life as a phone maker, back when they still made phones that at least in some ways were competitive. The Aquos never really got on to the same level as like Samsung, but still pretty cool. Speaking of Samsung, oh, I remember you. Oh my God, it is just so imposing to see this in person. Like, holy crap. Okay, let's be honest. Who's going to use this tiny little keyboard and mouse on a monitor like this? That's just unreasonable. I mean, even the remote for this thing is bigger than the mouse and about half the size of the keyboard. Like, jeez. And then, of course, we have everything else Samsung, from the frame. We even have some of their other monitors over here, like the still ridiculous but slightly more reasonable Odyssey. And then, of course, we have all of their other TVs back here, including the TV I never understood, the Neo QLED 8K, because who's watching native 8K, really? And I almost missed it. This little themed router. That's actually pretty cool. Little Gundam themed router here. It's not by Samsung, but it's, you know, still kind of cool to see. So considering this floor is mostly like home appliances and convenience of life stuff, like over here we have just a ton of home accessories, and in front of me here we got fans and stuff like that. Yeah, this is not a floor I'm going to stick around on too much because I want to get to the cooler stuff on the next floor. Yes, as fun as it was exploring the home floor with a couple things that I did recognize and a few more extreme things like that TV, it's time to get up to the floor that I struggle with, but is also a really fun floor to look at. This is the listen floor with nothing but audio equipment. Yes, when it comes to record players, microphones, recording equipment, speakers, you name it, this is the floor that's going to have it. And I gotta tell you, I love it. Yep, right out of the gate we have no highs, no lows. It must be Bose, followed by lots of stuff, including some desk speakers. Interesting. Oh, hey, look. We all remember when that speaker went viral. But for me, I'm here for the audio stuff. I'm gonna skip over JBL because I know their stuff pretty well. I know Marshall, I know and I don't like J-Labs as well as Bose, but I saw some Audio Technica and I saw a Sennheiser rep walking around, which means there's an Audio Technica section and a Sennheiser section. So let's go find those. Now this is a home recording setup that I would love to have. Oh, that's so nice. Upgrade the iMac and this would be amazing. Ooh. Look at those tubes. Look at that equipment. Oh, that looks so cool. Can't go back there though. These are some serious turntables. Look at that. Look at that stack. Look at that stack. Speakers, and I need a wall like this in my home. Alright, well, we found some Audio Technica stuff. Actually, this is all Audio Technica. And over here, we actually have Audio Technica recording equipment. Oh, oh my God, they have a sound burger. That is actually really cool. I would, oh God, I want one of those so bad, but they're still so expensive. So are a lot of these microphones. Now, something that is kind of cool with these headphones is that they actually give you the audio jack to try out your own audio. So if you want to try these out, you can actually just play your own music instead of being stuck with whatever demos happen to be loaded into these, which unfortunately is what happens with a lot of different audio places that I've tried around the States, especially around my hometown. So having the actual audio jack for actually each of these is pretty nice. We meet again, except this time they're in black instead of just a subwoofer. And I gotta say, I do like the clear, but there's something classy about these speakers all dressed out in black with just a slight tint on the clear design. That's pretty nice. You know, as much as I've been looking around, I'm pretty sure Sennheiser is just an additional spot to one of these multiple little center kiosks, because that's all I saw. So I guess we're gonna take a look at the next floor, which I'm already seeing some anime themed stuff, so this might be the anime floor. Yes, anime nerds and video game nerds, rejoice, we have made it to the game floor, and the first thing we're greeted with is a wall of figures, as well as a giant Miku statue. So let's see what this floor has to offer, although I think it's pretty obvious what we're gonna find. Nothing like being greeted right off the escalator with a giant Miku figure. That's pretty awesome. All right, yeah, this is pretty awesome. You get to see him pre-assembled. You get to see some epic poses, some incredibly detailed figures too. Like, wow, and just so many figures. Hello, figures. Wow, that is like. Oh, hey, look, some HoloLive. Oh, look at that. Oh. Rest in peace. But no, seriously, for any figure collectors out there, this floor is incredible. All kinds of anime, some of the more obscure stuff. They even had this figure, which brought back some personal memories for me. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. Pretty awesome store, but minus points because no Kagura Project figurines at all. I don't even know if they make Kagura Project figurines, but I'm going to mark down a point for every store that I don't see a Kagura Project figure. Good lord, look at the detail in some of these. Like, that is freaking, oh man. Is that Zoids? It's not Zoids. Damn. Still, that is epic. Back there, yep. Asia Golds. Well, hello, I did not expect to see you here. Alright, there are 5 awesome animes right next to one another. That's pretty awesome. And then just one full shelf of awesome anime characters. But for consistency, minus points again, no Kagura Project. Okay, that is cool. And so are just all of these that... Oh man, I'm in paradise. Some incredible Lego stuff in that store, but again, no Kagura Project. Minus points. To be fair, if you're coming here though, one of the biggest reasons you might come here is for the Gundam base Taiwan. This is awesome. I'm not going to deduct points because, well, they don't advertise to sell a bunch of anime stuff. This is just Gundam. Okay, this is going to be pretty freaking epic. The moment you enter the store, you are just bombarded with acrylic cases full of Gundams, and then just below that are the Gundams themselves in their boxes for you to buy and assemble yourself. All different kinds, and the theming of the store with the blue lights, the white, it was such a cool store to look around. So they got everything here from like the most basic to like the most complex, and you can just get them all here in one place. That is so cool. I mean, like, look at the detail in this thing, and look at all the pieces that it requires. Holy crap. And of course you have each of the different variants all posed together, which is pretty cool, so you can see the difference in detail and scale. Also just realized they had one without its armor in the back. That is cool. So for any serious Gundam collectors, you can get everything up to perfect grade in this store. Like, oh, that is wild. Okay, so even though I do not collect Gundams anymore, that is freaking awesome. The ability to just buy whichever variant of Gundam you want in one place. Absolutely worth the visit if that's the only reason you come here, but obviously there is so much more to look at. Like, for example, Gachapon, as far as the eye can see. You don't even have to go to Japan for this. You can literally just come around to this section of the store, and there's just so many with so many different things available. Like, look at this. There's a little gear shift fidget toy. You can get a Hilux or a Supra. Godzilla, just all kinds of different things. Potential lawsuits. It's great. Like, this is freaking awesome. Oh, and hey, speaking of potential lawsuits, check it out. It's Nintendo. Oh man, that was not intended timing. Still awesome and kind of funny. Okay, now that is freaking cool. This floor has so much just awesome stuff. I would love to just take all of it home. That is so cool. Oh, now that is cool. That is freaking awesome. That's why it's awesome. Anybody down for a nostalgia trip, including a PlayStation 1 bag, hat? This is all 30th anniversary stuff. That's pretty cool. All right, on to the next floor. Bye, Miku. All right, well, the anime-themed floor was a total failure because I could not find any Kagura Project figures whatsoever. I don't even know if they made them. But in reality, it was a pretty cool floor. So now we're going up to, I believe this is the 6th floor. So let's see what's here. Actually, at this point, I had kind of lost count of which floor I was on. This was actually the 7th floor, also called the Collect floor. I'm not 100% sure why it was called the Collect floor, because it kind of feels like an extension of the floor below it, but let's take a look and see what we have on the Collect floor. Okay, this seems to be more anime-themed stuff. Alright. Oh, and a bunch of bags with anime themes. Oh, actually, that is pretty dang cool. Another mecha anime that's been super popular over here, and I'm surprised I didn't see more of it, is Evangelion. This is the first I've really seen of any major Evangelion branding, but it's cool to see. Oh my goodness, more anime figures. Is that Lucy? I'll be damned, it is. You're telling me you're going to have Steins Gate figures, but you're not going to... Well, I guess Steins Gate's more popular, but you're not going to have any Kagura Project? Come on. There's some Oshinoko. And Love is War. I'm getting a very Scholastic's book fair feel from this section of the store. It's pretty cool, but just not what I expected in the middle of a kind of tech mall, kind of not. It's interesting. All right, now that's pretty cool. We got some Toy Story stuff. It just kills me that it's all out here because it's the 30th anniversary. I feel old. All right, now here's some stuff more my speed. We got cars, trains, buses, all of these in little die-cast forms. Do they have my car, though? I highly doubt it. I'm not expecting an SRT4, but do they have a Fiesta of any kind? Fiesta ST, yes, I don't care. Nope, unfortunately, no Ford Fiestas of any kind in die-cast. So, on to the next floor, because that floor was sort of just an addition to what was below it, and also a Scholastic's book fair in the middle. Still cool. And with floor number 7 out of the way, we're now on to floor number 8, which is the last floor called Explore, and it's not quite as interesting as the others, and here's why. This one is, yeah, this is the theme restaurant as well as repair services, and a couple other little things here like esports stuff, but we've pretty much covered every floor except the food court. We're gonna go down there and eat and then move over to the next store. This floor is not as exciting because it's mostly a lot of customer service. So if you need things repaired from, in this case, Samsung or Oppo and a few others, yeah, this is pretty much where it's going to get done. Otherwise, there is one store over here, which is not from a company that I've seen a store in the US. Common theme, there it is. That's Thermaltake. This is actually really cool. We've got racing sims set up in a line running all the way forward with their tower style cases, which I just love the look of those cases. But yeah, we got some direct drive Thermaltake steering wheels and actually just racing wheels in general. And then we've got a couple of demos in here, one of which has Anya in it. Hopefully she's not getting cooked to death by the power supply, but that's really cool. I might actually build a PC in one of these cases. Let me know what you all think, because I think that's actually a pretty cool case to build in. Got a little display for their RAM, and then this is stuff you don't see too often down here. This is their coolant. Yeah, that's their coolant for water flow, or, well, water blocks and their water cooling systems. That is not what I expected. I also didn't realize that Thermaltake made direct drive wheels, pedals, and yeah, didn't realize that. But yeah, look at this. Just walk in and look at what they got. That is cool. And if the bottles over there weren't enough for you, you can actually see the colors in these little reservoirs. And then pick your reservoir, pick your coolant, pick your fittings, everything. All your water cooling needs, at least from Thermaltake, are all right here, as well as a desk. And then this kind of like Apple-esque keynote center for, I guess, if you want like demos or breakdowns of their products. I don't know. But then there's this. Oh, wow. That is a really cool setup. Oh, and the LEDs actually run down the block in the back, so you can see the bubbles. You can see it kind of like pulsating through the GPU. That is cool. Oh, and look, they're running anime on 2 screens inside the computer. And more anime inside of a computer, but this one's just a box. I almost thought it was a 3D printer and walked past it, but nope. This is a full PC. I'll tell you what though, this style of case really does have my attention. Like, I need to build something that can sit on a desk because we can't really put things on the floor because my wife's business has dogs in the house pretty often. I don't need one peeing in the case, so I might go with something like this. It's pretty nice. You can make some pretty decent looking cases, or well, PCs inside the case, so I don't know. I'm not thinking I'm going to put a figure inside though, but aside from that, I think this case might be my option. And I got a section back here for folks just building the PCs. That's one getting built right now, and that looks like it's going to be a monster of a PC. So yeah, aside from the Thermaltake store, this is pretty much just the customer service floor. So we're not really going to do any themed restaurants or anything like that here. We're just going to go back to the first floor and down to the food court. So with what I would consider the most interesting floors out of the way, it's time to head on down to the food court and get some lunch. This time I got some seafood stew, and it was really, really good. So I'll tell you something that I'm still not used to, but I'm gonna have to get used to it, is the fact that here in Taiwan, even on hot days, you eat hot food. Just not used to it. I am on fire and I'm eating really good seafood stew, and it's like 92 degrees outside. So yeah, I'm a little hot. So like I've said multiple times at this point in the video, we really don't have many stores like this in the United States. It's a lot of big singular stores with a bunch of brands within the store. So the big brand is whatever store you're in, and then you have a bunch of little kiosks for the other companies. In this case, what really helps with each of these floors and each of these departments is that each of the stores is the brand's store. There's a lot of competition. So if you're looking for a motherboard, you could go to Gigabyte, or you could go to Acer or Asus. All these different brands in one location, and they all sell very similar products depending on the floor you're on. So you want a PC, go to the personal computers floor and look at Dell, HP, Lenovo, all the brands that are up there. You're looking for cameras, go to the camera floor. You've got Nikon, Canon, Pentax, Polaroid, all these different companies on one floor competing with one another. So it's really cool because you have a location where there's a ton of brand loyalty per store, but you have the benefit of actually going to each floor and trying out different pieces of equipment. And I feel like that's something that over the years we've really lost in the United States, is actually getting a chance to get hands-on with products. When I worked at Best Buy, that was kind of the idea, is that you can go in, touch the products, and get a feel for what it was, because, well, Best Buy's displays used to work all the time. But now we really only have a couple of stores that essentially only really exist as the brick and mortar showcase of what you're going to eventually buy on Amazon. Whereas here, this is where you can go to not only get hands-on with the product, but then buy the product. And because the competition is pretty stout, you're going to find some really good deals on maybe some lesser known brand names, or just in general, if you want an Oppo phone, you can go straight to the Oppo store and buy one. If you want a Nikon camera, you can go straight to the Nikon store and buy one. It's so nice to see, and the theming of this video, again, I wish there was more of this in the United States, but there's just not a lot of it. And hopefully it starts coming back, but I guess we'll see. But for now, I'm just going to wrap up my lunch, and then we're going to go and walk over to Guanghua Digital Plaza and wrap the video. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Syntrend. What an epic store. We need more stores like that in the US. I really hope we get more stuff like that. But this is one of two locations you can go to. They're right next to one another. And so next, we're going to take a look at Guanghua Digital Plaza. Let's go. Oh, wow.